Greetings, Earthbound humans, and welcome back to GeekWarehouse. Standing with me is Darryn Puth. My name is Fenn, and today we're going to be learning a little bit more about Warhammer 40K, specifically 8th edition. I got some questions I want to ask you on that front. Now, Darryn is a trained and tamed committee member of the Durban Wargames Club, and he's also the resident Warhammer 40K expert that I, of course, did not bribe to come on the show. Never. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
We've got to do the first question. How did you get into Warhammer? What started it off?
Well, I had some very strange friends in high school.
We all
and I was playing Magic at the time, and I saw they had these lovely plastic models. So I sold my Magic cards and bought Warhammer.
It's all or nothing.
Basically.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't like it anymore. I've sold everything. I'm moving to that one. I like that one.
Trading one for the other. Yeah.
Like most addictions.
But I heard that you got one of the first strike boxes.
It's very different from when I played it ages back.
Mm-hmm.
There are some new rules and new things that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone picked up on that because, I didn't do that many jump cuts in that one. Yeah, it was interesting to get into and it was lots of fun, and I'm sort of rekindling the old feelings of playing that game and charging armies across.
It's gonna bite you.
Shush. And now that I've played it, what do you do next? Assuming I've bought it and I've built the models and I'm thinking, what do I do next?
Well, the thing is, you can go and you can dive into the lore more than that, or you can go and buy more models for your army. Well, before you get any further there, you could probably maybe start something else, maybe a different army.
Different army.
Yeah.
Assuming I know absolutely nothing. I know absolutely nothing. In the first strike box, we got to play as Chaos Marines and Space Marines. And that's all we got exposed to. How many more are they? What are the different things you can play as?
There's a lot more. Everything's basically broken up into 3 major groups. You got the Imperium, which is the kind of good guys. That being the Space Marines and the Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum as they're called now. Copyright issues. And the Sisters of Battle, all those guys. The more human kind of. Then there's the Chaos Forces, which, as you saw, the Death Guard. Mm-hmm. They're part of the Chaos Force. There's lots of other different Chaos Marines as well, like those who worship the Blood God, the God of Change, the God of Excess, which is quite a fan favorite. And then there's the actual demons of the Chaos Gods as well. They have their own forces too. So then comes the Xenos, or aliens. Many different aliens in the galaxy. All of these are all trying to take down the Imperium, or at sometimes ally with it, whichever serves their purposes more. Like the Eldar, your kind of space elves, the dark versions of them, the Dark Eldar, or as they're called now, the Drukhari. Then there's the Tyranids, who are just these big space bugs who want to eat everything. Then there's the Tau, a little fledgling race with little robots and that.
Is there something that we can sort of get an understanding of what sort of is encompassed in the game itself, like a list of them, maybe a play-by-play?
There's actually
a phone book?
A lot. That's where the core rulebook comes in, and that helps a lot. It doesn't just have rules in it and advanced rules and other stuff. It's also got all the fluff you need, all the lore and everything to give you some inspiration as to where you want to go.
Everyone's sort of little piece of space.
Yeah.
We're playing First Strike, so it wasn't that complicated to start with. But I did sort of start to remember the rules and remember what I needed to do, but it was small armies and it was basic stuff. The more units we put in and the bigger it gets, is that going to become more complicated and more sort of specialized?
Well, there's a lot more to discover actually, a lot more fun to be had. Well, besides the 1,001 other factions out there and the beautiful models and that, there's a lot of fluff.
Fluff. We need to define this. It's been thrown around a bit, and I'm not sure everyone knows what it means. So
I'm going to say lore, actually. I'm going to say lore instead of fluff.
Fluff is a sort of friendly way of saying the backstory that's not really necessary for the playing of the game, but it gives each unit a characteristic.
Gives them flavor.
Yeah, and a personality.
Yeah,
okay, cool. So that's fluff.
You don't want to go and say, oh look, there's my generic little marine. he's over there. I want that Marine to be Soldier A, who came from this planet and was born in...
He's not generic, he's Soldier A.
But you know, you want to give them the life, a feel of it. You want to know why he is so beautiful and genetically modified. There's a lot more lore that you can pick up. There's a lot more models that have not just the basic models, they customizable. And there's also other different ways to play.
There's one or two like missions type play.
No, there's actually 3 different ways of playing. You get narrative, which is very story driven. You get open, which is what you have been playing, which is basically bring your models, put them down on the field and have fun.
Okay.
And then you get matched play, which is like a league play, where everyone matches up an army and you play competitively.
How do you play a narrative?
Narrative games tend to have a story based on them.
I gather.
Yeah, they very much on, in the Warhammer lore, there's a lot of recorded battles in the past. Like one of the most famous ones is the Horus Heresy.
I think I've heard of that one.
Actually.
Yeah.
And some of them have specific wars that happen in different places. And those, in a narrative game, you would say, for example, have to defend a siege against an overwhelming horde. Your army would have maybe 50% of the models of your enemies, but you would get bonuses for being in there.
No, I'm with you now. So a story or a narrative game is kind of like a campaign in all computer games and things like that, where there is a starting point and an ending point, like battle reenactment almost.
Exactly, it's exactly that. It can also be in the sense of you creating a new battle, like for example the Fate of Colonel campaign, which has just happened now. That is completely narrative, and it's something that's happening all across the world. There are shops everywhere across the world are interacting with each other. We're recording games and we're putting it onto the website, and we're determining the fate of that system now.
That is phenomenal, actually.
Yeah.
That actually makes me so excited, because literally it is a battle that's not yet concluded and is being written
as we speak
by the people actually fighting the battles.
Yeah.
Those are the different types of games you can play, and they all run on the core rulebook, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I assume.
Yes.
Now, I know there's other rulebooks as well, like the advanced rulebook, and I think there's one other that I'm not sure about.
Well, you get the indexes, which right now are the replacements for the soon-to-be coming out codexes.
Wait, the indexes are a replacement for the soon-to-be coming out codexes?
Yes, you see, with the change over from 7th edition, which just recently died out, into 8th edition, the game changed, the core of the game changed so much that they couldn't translate all the old rules for every single model into this new edition.
Okay.
So to let everyone still play, instead of just saying, oh no, you've got to wait a few months to play with your army, they released the indexes, which are these lovely little books here. These things have the basic rules and stats of every single model in the game. Normally, every army or faction gets a book called a codex. A lot of them are coming out. Just recently, we got the new Space Marine Codex. Soon we'll have the new Chaos Codex, Grey Knights, Death Guard.
So these indexes are sort of taking us from another set of codexes.
Codices, yeah.
Another codex for each army. So I'll use the codex to take my models that I have from 19 foot second through to, so I could use those models in
matched play, which is what we call league play or competitive play. But we often have awesome places sponsoring us for prizes.
There's no logo of anything. Yeah, I don't know who would be. So league games, everyone playing different thing. I'm assuming there's many more rules that I'm aware of. But in the first strike box, all the units came in green and blue. I think it was green and blue. Yeah, green and blue.
Yeah.
Can we just go with green and blue? Like, we don't need to worry about everything.
No. There's a lot more than just having them as basic green and blue, but you gotta paint them.
I feel like I need to draw one of these guys with me now.
Yeah. Now, the models, everyone can customize and paint the models however they like.
So it doesn't have to be any color.
You can chop them, change them, do whatever you feel like with them. But that kit comes by itself with multiple options for it. Inside the box, you get different arms funny claws you can stick on them, different guns. You can make a normal Chaos Lord.
Okay, but I have to use their pieces that they provide.
Well, you can always take pieces from other boxes you've bought and stick them on. That's what we call converting.
Let's say I want to get back into it, and I've just bought this box, or better yet, the box has been given to me as a birthday present. And I want to find out more. How do I find a troop of Warhammer players?
Well, there's a lot of groups on Facebook as well. No matter where you are in the country, there's lots of guys. Cape Town, Joburg, there's 1 or 2 in Bloom. Obviously, there's us in Durban. We've got a few shops that are supporting us as well.
Cool.
And there's always big events across the country. Yeah, it's very easy to find us. Just type in World Gaming into Google. I'm pretty sure you're going to find us.
Okay, cool. So if people watching wanted to get in contact with you directly with regards to Durban Wargame Club, do they just type in durbanwargameclub.com?
Actually, you can type in Durban Wargames Club and we're the first people to pop up.
I assume most people are going to pick this up, they're going to look at it, they're going to look at the price tag, because let's be honest, the stuff isn't cheap.
It's a lot cheaper than a lot of other hobbies out there. Like golf, for example, or fly fishing, or motorbikes. Buy the models, it'll last you forever.
Well, there's even the index that'll take you across. Even if you have all the models, you can bring them through.
All the models are there.
But there are many other ways you can play this as well. It's not just the game. I've heard people talk that they spend their time just building or just painting or
there's a big hobby aspect to it.
Or reading all the books. The community is still active. Things are still happening. It's not like it's a quiet thing. It's sort of not gone. This is international. It's pretty big. I assume I could pack up my army of whatever I've got, say Tau, I like the name, and go overseas and still play with the same thing. It's
Most definitely.
There's no hindrance. There's nothing to stop me. It's just going out and play with people and have fun.
Basically.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much for
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
joining me on the spotlight here in the Geek Warehouse. So now we know how to play. Go out and play. Tell me about it, and I'll see you in the next video.